So here we are with Mischief this morning. We're going to do a couple of things this morning. The first is we're going to practice a little place, but we're going to add some distraction to it. And then I'm going to show you a recall game that you can do, just you and your dog. And then we're going to do a little exercise where I teach Mischief to focus on my face. So first we'll start with the place. Here, Mischief, place. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Mischief, down. Good girl. So I don't really care if she stays in a down position. I really just care that she stays on the cot. We're gonna. Good boy. Good girl, Mischief. Good boy. Let's see what I can do. Good girl. Mischief, down. Good. Good girl. Good boy. Coming down. Good. Nice job. Here. So this is the first time we've done this with Mischief. We've kind of thrown toys across the room. I did some laundry earlier, but this is the first time. Okay, sit. And we've had another dog in the room with her, so she's doing pretty good. Okay, this way. Good job, Mischief. Good girl. Good girl. Good boy. Okay, come on. Let you go. Good girl. Nicely done. Nicely done. Good job. Good job. So I want to make sure that she knows exactly what it is that I say to release her. She needs to know that word. I'm just going to kind of mess around. I'm talking. Good. Good. What I want her to respond to is free. Good girl. So you can say free, free dog. You like to just say free. Good job. Okay. Enough of that. So this is a fun recall game you can do anywhere with a smooth surface, your garage, your living room, your driveway, just as long, not in the grass, because it will take her too long to sniff the treats out of the grass. You want this to be a quick, fun game. And they love this game once they learn it. She's not played it yet, so we'll see how she does. Mischief. Mischief, here. Good girl. Hey, you ready? Mischief, here. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Mischief, here. Yeah, good job. Mischief, here. Good girl. Hey, Mischief, sit. Good. So, my little spiel about recall. We all suffer with recall, every one of us. It's one of the most important things we can do with our dog, and it's also the toughest. Sit. Good. So, here's a way to keep your recall sharp. And most of us, we don't think about it. We just expect the dog to come when we call them, and that's not really the way it works. So, we often call our dogs from something that they're enjoying to something they don't particularly enjoy. They're out in the backyard, they're sniffing around, they're doing their thing, and we call them into the house. They're at the beach, they're running in the waves, we call them back to the car to go home. They're at the dog park or the park or your friend's house, sit, and we call them, and then the fun is over. So I always advise people to not make a practice of calling your dog from something they're enjoying to something that they will not enjoy. So if your dog is at the beach, just take the leash out there, go up to her, give her a treat, clip the leash on, and then take her to the car. She's out in the backyard and she's having a great time. She's rolling in the grass and you really need her to come in the house. Go out, get her, bring her back in the house. That way you can keep the recall happy. You can continue that game, or you can have the recall between two people. But when you say mischief here, you want her to go, oh yeah, okay, right? You don't want it to be, oh yeah, I gotta go back in the house now. All right. So that one time when she's about to cross the road and get hit by a car, when she's about to sniff a rattlesnake and you call her, she comes to you immediately. That is a very good way to keep your recall sharp and crisp, for it to always mean something good is going to happen. And for the first few months when you get her home, I would say always have something wonderful. Either her favorite toy, cut up hot dogs, cut up cheese, whatever it is that she adores, she should get that when she comes to you. And very often what you can do is, if you want her to go in the house and you want to be able to call her to the house, call her to the door, give her lots of treats and love and praise and play and whatever she likes, and then let her go. So that she doesn't know when she's called to the door if it means she has to go back inside or if it means you're going to engage in a really fun game with her. So that at least when you really do need her to come immediately, she will. And the other thing to do, to keep in mind, is not to call them more than once. Maybe twice if a loud noise happens and you honestly don't think that they heard you. Because often what we'll do is we'll call our dog. My dog's name is Kona. I'll say, Kona, come. He doodles around, kind of ignores me. Kona, come. Yeah, he doesn't really, he looks at me maybe. Yeah, I don't really think so. Kona, come here. Oh, okay. So then he comes to you. So what I just taught my dog right there is to not come to me until I'm hysterical, right? You never change your tone of voice when you're calling your dog. You never get angry, because of course they're not going to want to come to you if you're angry. You're no fun when you're in a bad mood, right? So even if you're super frustrated, your voice is always the same. The tenor of your voice is always the same. Your body language is always the same. If you're frustrated when you're training your dog, it's time to stop or change what you're doing, right? If you're asking your dog to do something and they're not even close, then you need to go, okay, I'm the smarter one in this situation, so I'm gonna go sit down and maybe call Rich and ask him questions, or just think of a different approach, right? So training is always non-emotional, unless you're super happy, of course, is a great emotion. It makes them very happy. But frustration just bums them out. You know, you're not going to get the best from them if you're frustrated, and you're not going to get them to recall to you if you're frustrated. So the other thing that we like to do to focus the dog's attention back on us, let's say there's a frog in the yard, and she loves to follow frogs. And what you really want her to do is pay attention to what you're asking. And how we manage that is we create a game out of it, an exercise. And I realize that you can't really see her. Let me fix this camera. Let's see the tip of her ears. Okay, here she is. Okay. And this also it just becomes muscle memory. It becomes a thing that they do automatically with repetition, right? So what you do right now, she knows I have treats in my pocket, so she's looking at my pocket. I want to teach her to look at me when I say her name, right? Mischief, yes. So I'm going to say her name, just her name. Nope, just her name. I'm not going to give her a command, right? Because if I want her to come to me, I'll say Mischief here. If I want her to sit, I'll say sit. But just saying her name is like calling someone's name across the room. You want them to look at you, and then you speak whatever it is you want to say, but you want them to look at you so that you know you have their attention. It's the same with them. This is engagement, right? And I don't want to reward her when she's looking at my hands, my pockets, my treats. Sit. I want to reward her when she looks at my face. Mischief. Yes. There we go. Mischief. Yes. Good. Mischief. Yes. Nice job. Mischief. Yes. Good. Mischief. Yes. Oh, smart girl. Alright, so she knows they're in my hands, but she's only being rewarded when she looks at my face. Good. Mischief. Yes. Mischief. Nice. Mischief. Yes. Yes. This is something you can do with any dog who is paying attention to something you don't want them to. If they're looking at another dog across the street, this is a great game to just stop and play. Mischief. Yes. Yes. Before you know it, she'll just stare you down. Yes. This is what you want. This is engagement. This is your dog looking at you saying, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing now? What's up? What do you want? Yes. Yes. Mischief. Yes. Good. Mischief. Yes. Mischief. Yes. Good girl. Mischief. Yes. Nice job. Mischief. Yes. Good girl. Mischief. Mischief. Yes. Good girl. Good job. I'm gonna give her a little jackpot here. That was a very good girl. That was a very good girl. Good job. Come here. Mischief, sit. Good. Mischief. Down. Good girl. Wait. So, as I'm sure you know, she is a very smart dog. She's catching on to things super quickly. She tries, she works hard, she pays attention. Mischief. Yes. Good. Yes. Nice job. Alright. Now she's gonna go for a little run on the treadmill, and that'll be her morning workout.